Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible. Nope, it's our Monday miracle story. Sorry about that. I'm not even going to hit record again. I'm going to keep rolling, guys. I do this almost every Monday. So today, I am going to tell you a Monday miracle story. So I'm back in Colorado, right? And I'm teaching a couple of different Bible studies. So I'm at a Bible study, and a woman's husband comes with her. Now, this is an all-women's group. It wasn't my idea, but I was asked just to teach a private group of women. I teach my dogs, okay? I love the Word of God. I will just teach anything, anybody that I get an opportunity. But so I'm teaching this women's group, right? Well, as it turns out, there's rumors about me around Colorado that there's some healings out there that... So anyway, she shows up, the lady that's doing the Bible study with the group, and her husband is with her. And I noticed right off that he is on crutches and his foot, he's not able to walk on his foot or anything. And you know me, I'm like, ooh, I need to get my hands on him. And the lady that I said that to laughed and said, well, that's why he's here. And I went, oh, okay, I didn't know, I didn't know why he came over. And she said, oh no, he came with her on purpose today because he wants you to heal him. So I did. I went on, and now there's a lot to learn about stuff, but anyway, so when he comes in and he sits down, one of the first things I tell him, now look, this man's foot is swollen so big he can't even get his shoe on, and he's already told me when I sat him down to talk to him that he had went out. This is how bad the situation was. It was gout and swelling and stuff in his foot. He had actually gone and bought another pair of shoes that was 2 sizes larger than he really wears, so he could leave it unlaced, okay? 2 sizes bigger still won't fit. He's leaving it unlaced, real loose, just to have a shoe to wear. Well, that particular night, he didn't have a shoe on because even the size 2 sizes up, he couldn't get his foot in it, okay? So he sits down in the chair, and here's something I tell people a lot, and this is important. I will first tell them, number one, especially Christians. Christians always want to help. So I start off by telling people, I do not want you to pray. I want you to be quiet and let me do the praying. Your job is to receive. It's God's power. I'm the one that's speaking it and releasing it into a person, and that person's only job is to receive. And I see a lot more healings when I ask people not to pray. So I told him that. I don't want you to pray. I want you to receive. And the second thing I asked him was to not use his faith. And I understand that we got a lot of teachings out there that says a person that's sick has to have faith and all of that. And you know what? Jesus never said that. And I'm going to measure what I believe against what Jesus said. Jesus did not say that a sick person had to have faith. Okay? Right the opposite. In James, he says that if a person is sick, that the sick person should call the elders of the church, and that the elders of the church would pray the prayer of faith for the person. Okay? So there's your verse saying that a person doesn't have to have faith. They have to call someone who does have faith. And if the person they've called will pray the prayer of faith, that person gets healed. Okay, so let me keep going. So I asked him not to do, and I told him, I said, if I hear you over there going, trying to lay that golden goose egg of faith, I'm just going to stop. So you need to not try to use your faith. I brought enough faith. I have the faith of the Son of God living in me. I have the faith of Jesus in me, and I do not need somebody to have faith. I have enough faith to get them healed. And he's like, okay, because I hadn't ever heard that before. I said, I know, but let's just do it like this. How many, you've been prayed for a lot, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so let's just do it my way tonight. And then I asked him to lean back and close his eyes. And this gets really interesting. He did that. He put his foot up on a little footstool, and he leaned back in that chair and closed his eyes. And I started thanking the Father. Of course, I always open with thanking the Father that He wants people to be healed. See, I'm not confused anymore. I know that I know, and it's settled in my heart, that it's God's will to heal every single person every time. Just because we don't see that happening does not change the will of God. It only changes what we see manifest, and that's why we don't give up. I know His will, and I'm going to keep pushing until I see heaven come down to earth. And heaven's will, my Father's will, is that every person is healed. That's why He gave Jesus, is so by the stripes of Jesus, by the beating of Jesus, people are healed. And Jesus didn't make an exclusive club. He healed all of mankind. Okay, let me keep going. So after I get through thanking the Father and praying, this guy's leaned back. And guys, I'm telling you, I put my hand on just his toes, basically. I just put my hand on the sock where that foot was swollen. And when I touched him, this grown man just jerked. And he didn't even see me do it. He had his eyes closed. But I didn't take my hand off. I kept my hand there after he jerked. And I got my hand back on him. And I just started praying in my prayer language. I started praying in what the church calls, and the Bible even calls, in tongues. My personal in tongues prayer language. I'm praying the perfect prayer to have healing manifest. So this guy starts feeling all of this tingling going up and down and all around and back, up and down through his body. And as I'm praying in tongues and just barely touching his toes, Holy Spirit dropped in me. He's got a liver problem. Put your hand on his liver. Put your hand here. And I did. I stopped and I said, and I just stopped praying. And then I went to move my hand and I went to just put it on his side. And before I even touched his side, I didn't even make contact with him. Before my hand made contact with his body, he jerked again, just like somebody had hit him with a volt of electricity again. And he did the jump, and of course that didn't stop me. I just put my hand very gently right there and started praying in tongues over that. And he started feeling something in his body. This man, when I got through praying and commanding the sickness to leave and the gout to leave and for his liver to be healed and for all of these things, right? I commanded all of that. And then I thank the Father, again, Father, I thank you that by Jesus he is healed and he's made whole, and so be it. When I got through with that, this man opens his eyes and he says, I have no idea what you just did to me, but I have never had anything like that happen to me. And he started explaining about how this surge of power was just going all over him every time that my hand would touch him. Now, later that night, his wife tells me, she says, you have no idea. My husband is not one of these big show people. He is very quiet, off to himself, and he never lets on in public about anything. And for him to just about jump out of that chair, that was shocking to me. Well, the next day, I get to Charis Bible College because there are students at Charis, right, at the Bible College. And he is not on his walking stick, and he has got his shoe on. And it's the regular size shoe because all the swelling went down that night. Now, he had a slight limp, but look, he saw me from afar and he came up to me and he hugged me and he said, I have no idea what you did to me last night, but oh my goodness, I have never experienced that kind of power go through my body. And today, my foot is not swollen and I'm walking on it and I'm just going to keep using it. And I'm going to let this healing finish taking place. Now, here's the thing that I want to tell you about. Sometimes I can feel power leaving my hand and the other person don't feel a thing. Other times I don't feel anything going out of me, but they feel it. Like him, it was just all over him. And sometimes it's both. Sometimes I can feel it go out of me, and that person, after I'm done, will tell me they felt it. So, guys, I don't know, I don't know everything about healing, okay? But I sure know a lot more than I did 6 years ago. And I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm not going to let someone not get healed determine whether I'm going to keep doing what I do. No, no, ma'am. Look, let me teach you something real quick before I hang up on you today. Did you know that Tiger Woods would have never been a golf pro if the first 7 or 8 times he swung the clubs and didn't hit the ball, and even if he hit the ball, he missed the hole. So what he aimed at, he didn't get, right? Kind of like healing. We aim at healing and then we don't get it. If he had have thrown those clubs down after he swung them the first few times, he would not be a golf pro. And what I see in the areas of healing, what people will do is try it, and when it don't work, they not only throw the golf clubs down, they get on top of them and jump up and down and crush them and scream, this stuff ain't real. This golf game is not real. It's not real because, see, I've swung the club 7 times and I hadn't hit it yet. I hadn't hit the ball and I hadn't hit the hole. So this whole game of golf is not real. And we never continue and persist and keep on the path of just doing it and staying at it until we start seeing results. Todd White said that he had laid hands on 900 people, 900, before he saw anybody get healed. So let's just consider the fact that maybe sometimes we, not God, it's not God holding up anything, okay? Maybe we need to practice and work toward the goal and persevere and don't give up until we start seeing the results we see. The more that I practice healing, the more results I see. And that is what we have to do as believers. We will start laying down all of our unbelief and start believing the words of Jesus when we start doing what Jesus did. And Jesus went about laying hands on the sick and they all recovered. That's our goal, is that we will keep on going until we get to the point that I don't even think about whether people get healed or not. My expectation is that I did exactly what I was supposed to do, and I'm going to get the exact result. And here it is 6 years later, I'll see people that I don't even remember, and they will say, do you remember praying for me? Or do you remember laying hands on me? I got healed. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't write it all down, so sometimes the answer is no, I do not remember. But listen, guys, I'm going to sign off. I got a whole bunch of work to do today, and I love you, and I'm going to start tomorrow teaching on the gifts of the Spirit out of 1 Corinthians chapter 12. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.